Hey everybody, welcome back to A Peace of Mind with Israel Wright, and this is gonna be 2.1. So last time we had talked over Discord and just pretty much talked about your military experience and how you get into the creative arts that you got into. This time around, I wanted to actually show our faces because Zoom is a better connection than Discord. So. I felt bad, man, and after recording with Camden, I was like, man, I gotta get him back on here at least for a better quality.
Thanks, man. I'm honored. I'm honored that you would give me a second chance.
Of course. And then
you can see my face on OnlyFans.
Yeah. And you see, and that's an actual image of him right there, and
his power armor.
Yeah, his like little fancy pose with his hand. I don't know how that's working.
It's almost repulsive. He's like, ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Everything else is less than perfect except for him. So
accurate.
We'll get into that whole subject in a little bit. That's a whole slew of lore to get into. But I want to start with what you do, my dude. We didn't actually touch too far into it. We kind of
really?
Glossed over it. We got more into your personal side, not to your.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
career side.
Yeah, we didn't get into what you actually do now, and that is Twitch.
That's cool. Yeah, what I do, I have only been doing for a short period of time, and I would call myself, I'd call myself a multi-platform content creator. It sounds really official. It's like It's like custodial manager. It's like a fancy way of saying. Make YouTube videos or to live stream, but I'm actively trying to do three things at one time: the Twitch stream. I live stream on Twitch 3 days a week. I have a podcast, the Pop Culture Field Manual with Cameron Fath, who was my buddy. He's my buddy from the Experts React. They're over there. The Experts React videos. I like how it's like the expert, over there, to my right,
off screen.
There, yeah. And then I also have my own YouTube channel, which has had some middling, early growth and success because of the success of the Gamology videos. The kind of the nucleus of me deciding to pursue a career in online content creation was the Gamology videos. That started like middle of last year, August of last year is when they first started coming out. That's when I met Cameron, who's since become a good friend. He's a good guy. And then I was already streaming at the time, but it was just like 3 to 5 people at a time, a couple people here and there, not a big deal. And then once they started letting me integrate a shout out at the end of the Gamology videos, well, then I started seeing some real growth in my Twitch channel. At the end of most of the Experts React videos, if you watch them with me, I'll say, hey, if you want to hang out with me some more, go to twitch.tv/myhappyself. And I went from last year at around August, I had just hit that 200 follower mark, and as of the time of this recording, I've just over 16,000 followers on Twitch. And so nice. That's been really short, really explosive growth in a short period of time. And so I was already kind of transitioning away from what I had been doing, which was really I was doing some personal assistant work. I was doing massage therapy, and I was doing coaching at a CrossFit gym here in Los Angeles. And I'd already been kind of transitioning and said, you know what, that's it. I took my massage table and put it in my closet. I stopped coaching all my classes except for I got one client left, and I still do the personal assisting stuff. But I stream 3 days a week, Mondays and Wednesdays from 3 to 8 p.m. over here on the Pacific Coast, and then Friday mornings from 7 a.m. until noon. So I had a stream this morning. And I call myself a variety streamer, which means I just kind of play whatever it is I want to play. I'm not like a Fortnite streamer. It's not like a dedicated Destiny or Minecraft or anything like that. Yeah. It's just kind of like on Mondays, we just started Mass Effect Legendary Edition. On Wednesdays, it's like our community day where we play Apex Legends in the first half of the stream and then Escape from Tarkov in the last half. And then mornings is what we call our chill stream or our cozy stream. So we always play something relaxing and just chill. So we're playing Stardew Valley, which is like a farm sim,
Oh,
and
nice.
And so the podcast is the other thing. I actually really enjoy doing the podcast, and this kind of format, just like talking. I just like hanging out and talking. So that's kind of what the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast is the name, and it's me and Cameron, and we just talk about anything having to do with the military and pop culture kind of coming together. So music, movies, television, video games, all that kind of stuff. we just dish it out, and just be goofballs, and people seem to like it, We've got 10 episodes out as of today. We got a YouTube channel for the video portions and stuff, so we're trying to branch out and just kind of build this kind of baseline,
the whole branding, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I have my own YouTube channel, which is me, just trying to do like whatever I can. I have to kind of start coming up with content ideas. Like I got some highlight reels and stuff like that. But it's like, okay, now it's the, I've always been an employee. Now I consider myself like a business owner.
Right? Oh, okay.
I'm a brand. I got to do my own thing. I got to create my own schedule.
Yeah.
And so now I got to watch all the YouTube videos and read all the books about being an entrepreneur, being an outlier, being adding value. What is my brand? Stuff.
All the stuff that nobody ever felt was important is now important.
yeah. All that stuff. It's really it amounts to a different way of thinking. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you Pathios, and you liken. I don't really know what you do liken, but like you Pathios, you already do what I am trying to do. You make your own content. You got these skills and stuff. You put them all together. You integrate them, and you create this thing that's like this really cool kind of, I think, a unique idea. It's almost like a throwback, but then you're kind of revitalizing it with the audio dramas and stuff. So now I have to come up with, okay, who am I?
What'll work for you?
And then what can I give to people? To kind of.
I'm still in that process too.
Figuring that out.
Yeah. So I met. Just a quick recap on Lycan here. I met Lycan through his. I don't know if you were co-hosting or just y'all see each other.
We're hosting together, but he was editing and like doing all the talking to people and getting people for the show.
Yeah, so they reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, would you be interested in making a intro for our podcast?" And I was like, "That's all I do, man." Yeah. So I made a little intro. You can check out the interview they did. They had me on and explained my whole ordeal, how I started what I do, but that's how I started to meet him. And then now he's trying to stabilize that whole little podcast thing and figure out what works, what doesn't work, and clearly, as you can tell by his picture, Warhammer works. Yeah. So yeah, with your whole Twitch, first off, I want to say I like catching your Tarkov days because I like to throw in bad ideas. Like you'll always be, because what I love about you is you're so interactive and you're so like, I'm gonna do this, but what do y'all think? And then people throw in like there's like a million people just saying stuff, and I always try to toss that in there, like take everything with you.
Don't drink that water. Forget that MRE. Don't walk in that minefield. Shortcut.
I mean, they're ideas. I'm not saying that they're perfect, but they're there.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I love catching you on the Apex because my wife is a huge Apex player, and just seeing people play that game is ridiculous to me because I always feel like they're better than me, and then I see what happens. I'm like, good.
I like that game, but it frustrates me to no end.
What'd you say?
I like that game, but it frustrates me to no end.
Yes, exactly. It's got a good little class system, but at the same time, all the updates are just like screwing it and all sorts of ways.
It progressively gets more and more Once they added flying characters, I was
that was a bit much. But yeah, I was watching you play one time. I'm like, damn, he's actually getting good at this. And then it was. I mean, I'm not putting you down, but I was like, okay, cool. Reaction time is still equal. We're still there. And then I was and then I saw the death, and I was like, yep, that looks like Apex, like a split second, and you're just dead.
Yep, that's it, man. No, you got to watch my latest highlight reel. It's got 3 in a row of me jumping off of ledges to my own death of my own, like just not paying attention, like just jumping off, and then they resurrect me. And I jump off something immediately afterwards, and just like.
That's me. My friends get mad at me because I love driving around the fast car thing they have.
Yeah.
And I'll end up flying off some ledge.
Yeah, there's like that. There's like that moment. There's like that section in that map where it's like just 2 little cliffs, and you can't see it because there's like a
Yes.
little. I know what you're talking about, because I was thinking, I was playing with the wife one day and I saw that exact thing. I was like, oh shit, that's not ground.
That's exactly what happened to me.
But one game I wanted to talk to you about, man, because it's been on my mind ever since I saw you playing it a while back. Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it gets to everybody, man. Now, I know you. So, did you play part 1 first, or was 2 your first introduction?
2 was my first one. Yeah, there was a whole when I grew up. I'm a gamer, and I call myself a gamer. I grew up. I've been playing video games since I was like 7 years old. But there was a period of from like 2003 to like 2000 and I mean, really, if you want to say like active online stuff, 2003 to about 2018 or 19, like I've always been a solo gamer. I've never played like party, like online games and stuff like that. But there's a whole section of games of the gaming history that I just didn't get. Like I never had money, or I wasn't paying attention, or I was in the army, or I was otherwise, engaged in other things and stuff. So anyway, that was one of the ones that I missed. I was around, but it was just like, I don't know. I had no idea what I was missing,
Yeah.
And then everybody spoke so highly of Red Dead Redemption 2 that I'm like, well, I gotta play that, And I'm just a sucker for a good story, man. And that one has such an engaging story, man.
Yeah. It got to everybody. I haven't seen, I personally haven't seen, like in person, one person that like was just saying negative things, or even say it was just good. They're like, oh, it's amazing, because it's like watching a movie half the time. So clearly you're an Arthur fan, right?
Oh yeah. Absolutely, man. And I'm not a Micah fan. I'm anti-Micah.
Of course, everybody is. And it's funny, if you see that, man, they actually have like a little panel where they're all talking about Red Dead. And he's talking about that moment when I'm pretty sure I could spoil it. I think everybody's kind of reached that point. That moment where you gotta kill him, and he was just like, I couldn't. He's like, I couldn't. Not that he couldn't, but he couldn't tell what reality was because he just shot himself. So he's looking at himself dead on the ground, but he's there in real life, still alive and shit. He's a funny guy. Seeing him go through just interviews, the guy is pretty hilarious, and I think he really owns the role as a villain, not as a bad guy, but as a villain. I
mean, he did his job because you hate him. You hate
exactly
that character.
Oh yeah, I'm the first person to say, like, if you don't hate the villain, then what are they really doing?
Yeah, he did, man. Man, that movie. There were 2. Can I tell you about the two most poignant moments? I mean, there's so many. It's like first in your class at Yale kind of thing. It's but when you come back, when they come back from the island portion.
Oh yeah.
He grabs the horse and he starts riding, and then that song starts playing. Stand and chick. Like I was totally unprepared for that moment of him like riding through and looking, finding I was like, and I got like choked up. I'm like, what is this effect that this game is having on me, And it was just beautiful. It was like an unexpectedly powerful moment because, you want to have an experience when you play a game and stuff like that. When it comes to story, you want to, but I was like, I didn't realize that would happen, But the other one is I will never forget this as long as I live. Like it was the scene where Colm O'Driscoll, the leader of the O'Driscoll gang, he's up for being hanged, but he's got like a plan. He's got his guy on the roof. He's got his guys in the audience, and they're going to spring him. Well, this, and then you go with your buddies, and that badass chick. What's her name? I forget.
Starts with an S. Oh, God dang.
Sadie.
Yeah, there you go, Sadie.
Oh, she's so cool. Her story is like such a great story. Yeah, she's there with you, and she's like ready to kill fools, And there's a moment where you take his dude out, the sniper out on the roof, and you got the guys by the throat, and you're standing there, you got him dead to rights, And he looks out and he's kind of laughing and stuff like that. He kind of looks up.
He notices. Yeah.
and he looks down in the audience and he sees you, and there, you can see the thought process on his face, the realization that he's gonna die, you know, and I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. Like, that he's the bad guy, right? He's a total bad guy.
Yeah.
He's tried to kill you multiple times. He's the leader of a horrible gang. But the humanity that you see on his face, the realization that he's going to die, I was like, I don't know that it gets much better than that in terms of storytelling, you know? So just, I'm a fan.
That was, exactly. That was an excellent, and not even the main bad guy, just like a side bad guy.
Yeah. Not even like it's like a side mission, you know?
Yeah.
He's not the Pinkertons or anything, you know?
Exactly. That really got to people. I'm probably not to everybody, but I know what you mean though. Just when you're not, when you're not, expecting those moments to pop up and they just start happening in the game left and right. You know, with Red Dead 1, Red Dead 1, and you still haven't played it, right?
No.
Should I? Yes. Are you kidding me? It's a continuation. It's
okay. Yeah, you're right. Because that's Red Dead 2 is actually the prequel, and that goes and then John Marston becomes the main character.
Okay, cool. I won't say nothing then because I don't want to spoil it. And it has the same type of things. Personally, and maybe it's just because I played it first, I felt Red Dead 1 was more of an impact. And you'll see why when you reach the end. And it's the denial straight up for me. And I was just like, no way, this can't be happening. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
Oh, man.
I'll leave it to you because I'm pretty sure your fans are, who knows, somebody might spoil it just to spoil it for you. But when you see it happening, it's just like, no. You know, especially after playing part 2 and then going to part 1, you're just like, no freaking way. But either way, it's a really good game, and it really makes the whole circle complete as to, I think, what Red Dead was trying to, you know, the main theme of just the Wild West, and I think they really capture just that essence of what the Wild West was, especially when it was dying, of course. And so, you know, part 1's worth it. And then a little Easter egg, what some people already know is GTA 5 has a book in your house called Red Dead, written by one of the characters from the Red Dead series. And that'll be the final connection to the Red Dead series within Rockstar, and you'll see it. It's awesome because you're just like, what? You know? So it all makes sense. In order for that to make sense, you have to play part 1 for it to click as to like why there's a book called Red Dead in GTA. You know, because clearly it's now canon that Red Dead is history from, you know, where GTA is, so to say. Not that storyline smash or anything, but just to why there's a book called Red Dead. I don't know. You'll see it, man. Either way, though, I just wanted to know personally, like, what you thought about that game and things like that. So, glad to see it. Its effect works on everybody but me.
I'm a sucker for a good story. You know, like as I get older, there's just something about gearing into this, like the self-made career. You know, I'm not just going to a company. I'm actually trying to create something that's all my own. You know, and the day-to-day kind of stuff, and just the idea of time being a limited and precious quantity. You know, like, I'm not going to play Arma. I'm not going to play Squad. I'm not going to play Insurgency. I'm not going to play the Milsim games because the experience is the experience of a teamwork experience, and the gear and the going through the motions of a mission and stuff like that. I'm good with that. I want a good story. I want a really good story because time is short. Like, you know, time is precious. I'm not just going to play, you know, kind of rote stuff. Apex Legends and Tarkov are about as you know, non-story driven. Squad as much as I get. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, also I tell this to people all the time, especially people that you know, periodically, really rarely, there's a few writers that'll reach out to me and, you know, ask for advice, mostly writers from the Discord that I got. But, you know, there's a friend of mine who's a SAG actor, and he was like talking about, you know, because of my military experience, he's like, you don't understand, it's a big thing in Hollywood right now. I was like, that's cool, but like, I'm good, man. You know, like, it's. I've experienced it. I don't want to have to sit there and watch some guy with the collar taped up, acting like a military guy, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's goofy. It's just like watching it happen, being told like, no, we should change these characters and have them do this instead. Like, okay, well, that guy is like, you want him to be Delta, so he literally would never do anything like that. Like,
yeah,
I understand it needs to look good, but just from experiencing it, there's no freaking way this guy would talk or do whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
It's just maybe just experiencing the military, you're kind of just you're done. You're you're kind of done with the whole military aspect. Yeah, that's what it is for me, at least. Like I'll still try to enjoy it just for personal trying to enjoy things, but yeah, definitely done with military style of gaming. Yeah, looking for a different avenue of fun, Yeah.
Yeah. I because I've always been a fan of sci-fi and fantasy stuff, even since a little kid. When people said, "Oh, you're not going to play Arma or Squad because you've kind of been there and done that stuff," I used to say, "Well, not really, just because I already liked sci-fi fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I play Apex instead of Warzone, But then as I thought about it, while there's like some kind of like, well, yeah, it is kind of true. It's like, it's I did that, and doing it. There's no substitution for doing it. There's no substitution for actually having been in the military.
Yeah.
And when I'm thinking about like playing a video game that's trying to be a milsim game or something like that.
Yeah, the extreme milsims.
You're trying to get as close to that experience as you can. And I guess that maybe that's just, I'm not trying to do that anymore. That's for people who have never done it, or, to be fair, like there's a lot of former military guys that play it. So maybe it's like kind of a recapturing or recreating of the experience to some extent. It's like, I miss it. I miss that feeling. Let's try to get it a little bit in the game,
Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing against, because as close as I like
Certainly
to,
not.
Yeah, as close as I like to get to that, whenever I do feel like my tactical moments I want to get back into, Battlefield is more so the game I'd go to, because I have my few friends that we connect really well. We can coordinate a few things, and Battlefield is as far as I'll ever go, because they're the whole Arma and Squad. I don't remember which one. Maybe in Insurgency. I don't know, because I just remember watching your experts react video about it, and they're over there actually calling for fire and everything like that. That's too extreme. I'll do that on Battlefield. I'll throw a flare where it needs to go, and then I got my friend in the chopper, and he sees it, and he's like, all right, and that's it. I don't gotta sit there on the map, freaking get all this out and everything, and figure it out like it's real life. Like, nah, I gotta have that sense of I'm still in a game.
I'm playing for fun, not to do homework.
Yeah, pretty much, man. It's one of the it's one of the freaking lessons I got in the military, but it's definitely one of those things I would avoid if I could. I just got tired of doing the map things over and over again.
Yeah. Some people, but some people, there's a satisfaction, whether it's the detail work or the way the brains work, where it's like, that is like, they love that kind of stuff. I know a couple people that like, they just can't help themselves. Like they have to do the math. They have to have the things in front, and stuff. And so maybe those games, that it scratches that itch,
That might be exactly it. That's way too in depth for me. So switching over to sci-fi though, Mass Effect, man, what are you thinking of it?
Oh man, I can already tell. We only got like 3 hours into the game, but I can already tell. Like, it's like any great story. It starts small. With a few characters, and then everything starts to get bigger and bigger. The implications of the characters and the events and the places and the MacGuffins, the equipment, the things that you're after. All of a sudden, they mean so much more, and then you meet more and more characters and stuff like that, and I've never heard one bad thing about Mass Effect. Everybody that I've spoken to,
really?
Well, except about the ending. Something about the ending. And then Andromeda, I guess maybe wasn't so, but that's all out of context for me.
Yeah, that's true.
But everyone was like really excited for me to go through it, and it's awesome, man. It's the idea of like choosing how your character is going to go, kind of the Knights of the Old Republic, kind of like choosing your path. You're going to go the high road or the low road. You're going to be a jerk. You're going to be a paragon or whatever. And then, what's been great is my stream has typically been me playing popular games that everyone's already played, you know, like Red Dead 2 and now Mass Effect and stuff like that. And it's been a fun experience being so interactive, like with chat and stuff, because they're like, oh man, I remember this guy and I have such great memories of this game. And it's hard not to, we got to watch out for spoilers, but they're like, oh man, I hated that guy when I played, or oh man, later on when blah blah blah, and then they erase their chats, but it's cool, man. It's I've been looking for, like I say, like I love a good story, and I've been looking for something kind of epic to really kind of wrap my nerdy brain around for a while. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely gonna have to play it off stream as well, because it's just too massive. I'll be doing this thing till like next year, because I'm only playing the main game. Mondays will be Mass Effect, Wednesdays is Apex, and then Fridays is Stardew. So I only get 3-4 hours a day, or a week or whatever.
Yeah, I was about to say you already got a schedule set up and everything. And I think it's just because Mass Effect 1 was I thought was the best one. I actually like the bad guy at the end, and I don't know what it is. Like he may not be everybody's favorite, and I don't know. You'll see, man. But personally, for me, I don't know what it is. I just liked it. I like his image, and I liked his whole ordeal. But so
I think 2 was my favorite.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think it had the best
it had
culmination of everything, combat, story.
Out of all the sorry, I don't know why I was trying to talk while you were talking. Out of all the Mass Effects, I think that might have been the most climactic Mass Effect.
Yeah,
I think that's
the whole ending battle was epic.
Yeah, that was. Okay. I'm not gonna spoil that for you. But yeah, before we accidentally spoil it, man. Mass Effect is pretty cool. That was my first introduction into extreme left or right limits being like phased out, You definitely had a choice to do all sorts of crap, and then that one choice just brought down your whole structure of like everything you delicately set up, and you're like, no. So definitely keep that in mind. Save
and Mass Effect 2 introduced Miranda.
Oh yeah. Don't say no more, man. Just let it go.
I'm not saying no more. I'm just saying she was one of my favorites.
Of course. So sci-fi wise, last time we talked about Warhammer, and I'm gonna let Lycan bring out any type of topic he wants to talk about. Go, good sir. Go.
So if you like Mass Effect, then you will probably definitely like the new Necromunda that just came out.
What's that? Is that a video game or a book series?
It's a video game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you play as like a bounty hunter in one of the slum worlds and what goes along with that. But
this is within the universe of Warhammer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really dope.
So we should probably explain a little bit of more lore, because you can't like mention one thing and then people just catch on. you gotta like.
I mean, I tried to be a little bit.
3 things in that sentence that you said that I didn't know. Necromunda in the slums of the.
Yeah.
Well, the planet is called Necromunda.
Okay, Necromunda.
That you're on. Yeah.
Okay. The necro being dead is I'm guessing it's not a good place to live.
It's not a very nice place.
So there's these worlds called hive worlds, and it's literally how it sounds. It's just a shit ton of people smashed into a world, and they're all trying to survive. But like, it's a typical monarchy style. When I say monarchy, I mean like there's top people that kind of rule the underlings, and these are the best, second best. Worse, and then just the slums where everybody's just killing everybody, so on and so forth. So
Yeah,
the hive,
basically because all the planets are super polluted and disgusting, like the lower you go, it's the poorer you get. And so
Yeah.
like all the rich people live on the top floors of the massive hive cities, and everybody else is kind of just on the bottom.
Yeah, and clearly it's from mankind in the lore, expanding and having numerous just people everywhere and unregulated, sorts of stuff. But yeah, I don't know if you. I know I asked you. I think did you look into any more Warhammer since the last time we did talk?
No, I haven't, man. Life is busy.
Yeah, I understand,
For
man,
sure.
dude.
Yeah.
But
What I'm really excited for is Dark Tide. Have you ever played Left 4 Dead?
Oh,
I've heard of Left 4 Dead. Yeah.
It's like, well, it's a game kind of styled like that, where you and like 3 other people are in a situation where there's hordes of zombies around you, and you're just blowing your way through them.
Nice. They got the new
Vermintide?
aliens. No, the aliens fire or Space Marines fire team. It's basically like a GTFO style. It's basically like a group, like Left 4 Dead. You got Space Marines, and it's in the aliens universe, and there's aliens coming after you. You got to get out of there alive and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a game like that.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I dig it. I told you about this last time, but the earliest exposure to video game forms of Warhammer 40K was that I think it was called Space Hulk for the PlayStation 1.
Yes, with the Tyranids.
Yeah. And I just love all the voice acting in it and stuff.
Oh my god, I love the opening so much. It's so intense.
So good, man.
It's like, we are the angels of death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, why don't you explain the picture you got up there, just so we can understand what that
sure.
is.
Is that an Eldar or is that a human?
No, this is one of the Primarchs, so a human. He is Fulgrim of the Third Legion, the Emperor's Children. And he starts out he's the perfect son of the Emperor, but then not so much.
Now the Emperor, just because for the uninitiated, myself included, I always remember there's this one picture of the Emperor, and he's basically just like a husk of a human, and he's in this giant contraption, and he's basically just psionic, like he projects his mind and stuff like that. He's but he has his physical form is totally decrepit. Is that kind of who the Emperor is now?
Now. But he wasn't always that way. I don't know if you want me to just go into a whole hour-long spiel of
you don't gotta go into hour-long, dude. You gotta condense it.
I love it. See, that's what I love. I know, because I started.
That's my thing.
I never got to finish there was somebody said, I said, hey, where should I start if I just want to start? It's like, start with the Horus Heresy, and because that was when the Emperor was like was a regular person, So,
as regular as you could call him. Yeah, he was still like a giant compared to regular people, and he doesn't have the same face to everybody. He was like, if you look upon him, he's different, and he's what you expect perfection was.
Wow. Is that because of his psionic abilities?
And all this other stuff. There is, I think it got taken down, but maybe re-uploaded. There's a story about prior to the Horus Heresy, when Earth was still fragmented with these warlords and everybody killing each other, and the Emperor was going around pacifying the whole world, and then it kind of became a thing where people were like, yo, the Imperium's coming. I'm like, oh shit, the Imperium, it became a scary thing. It's called The Last Church. It's a really good animation.
It's still up.
Oh, awesome. So it's an animation literally about the last church on Earth, because the Emperor is trying to get rid of religion. He's saying that's the reason. That's one of the reasons why man could never unite. So what he decides to do is he decides to step in the church, talk to the priests, and be like, what makes you want to keep this church going? Like, why are you here? Your flock hasn't even shown up. It's way past the time they would. And, he's basically, he hides himself, and he's just like acting like a regular guy walking in, even though he's just a massive hulk of a guy walking in. And he's just like, what are you expecting? Like, why are you still being defiant? And he just wanted to know basically like what makes this guy tick. And guy explains the whole thing. And, and he's just like, I saw the moment where I realized God is real, blah 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 blah, not knowing he saw the Emperor. That was the whole thing. But like the amount of detail, like discussion they have is just like phenomenal, and that's typical Warhammer 40k story. Like it's great, it's awesome. You'll love it. The back
and you get a good look at like both sides have a point.
Yeah,
it doesn't just favor one over the other. It's like
good writing right there.
Yeah, nobody's right or wrong in the scenario. It's just two different views.
Yeah. The best part is you get to see a glimpse of what not many people have a lot of knowledge on, and I think it's just because it's not like as because they're dead, they're not around anymore. Thunder Warriors, which are the like the predecessors, before Space Marines came about. The Thunder Warriors were the first genetically enhanced people, and they were not perfect. They would like die off from,
mutations and imperfections.
Yeah, like it wasn't a perfectly. It wasn't like a perfect surgery. They just like managed to get it to work, and they're like, "All right, cool. You last as long as you last, and then your implants are gonna kill you." So, and it's a cool thing. That whole prior to the Horus Heresy story, though, like that exists, and you see glimpses of it throughout some of the regular books now and everything, but it's always so fascinating because there's a whole slew of lore that you just trying to get into, and then you realize there's a whole backstory that you don't even know about.
The universe is extremely fleshed out, and there's just so much to unpack if you want to go down that route.
Wow, that it boggles the mind, because like it had to have come from like the first guy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But then there have been so many authors since then, and to keep everything consistent, and connecting with each other, to not like contradict each other and stuff like that. So that's quite a feat.
Not to say they don't contradict each other, because there's been occasions,
but all right.
But especially in the early days, from what I've been told, and I think I've seen a few there was like a unified, this is what needs to be the actual left and right limits of what we're doing. There was like some Space Marines could freaking fly, the other ones could like spit acid, and then just like, yo, we gotta organize
they
what
still
we're doing.
Can spit acid.
Well, so that I'm saying prior to them organizing it, they obviously kept some of those things, but then they're just like, yo, we gotta we gotta keep this consistent. So they finally did that, and after years of just making this stuff, they're still not even done writing it, but it's still good. It's amazing things, because like you already know what's gonna happen. They're just trying to write the rest of that and put it out in book form. So
are you saying like the whole fleshed out universe, like it's already, there's like an ending to like kind of everything?
There's an ending to the Horus Heresy. It's actually not all in book form yet. It's still still coming out. The actual main, I think the present day, it's still going, obviously, but there's like massive things happening. There was a lot of that going on.
There's kind of like a tear. The galaxy has been like torn in half now, and just a whole bunch of other crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's just like unfathomable.
Wow.
Yeah. That's Lycan, go ahead, man. You got more to say, you got more to explain. I know you're like, I don't know if you're not good at like bringing out short.
I can keep going.
I know you can, which is why you're not saying much, because when I talk to Lycan about certain things, we'll go into long ass conversations, and we're not even progressing timelines. We're just talking about
one event.
I'm trying to write a story actually for Camden Pace. He's going to be voicing in one of the stories. And for everybody that doesn't know, Gamology Experts Reacts the bank robber. He's going to be, because he's a comedian, SAG actor, and all that, and he's going to be voicing a little bit. And I've had to get some ideas about pretty much the Slaanesh side of Warhammer, and Slanesh is something I'm not too well versed on, and Lycan is like that's his main thing. So
Yeah,
we
that's
were
why
talking.
I put this as my profile picture for this
Yeah,
recording.
and like Lycan, I asked him like, "Yo, man, I need some info. Does this seem to fit what a freaking Chaos Marine following Slanesh or transferred over to Slanesh would be like?" And we spent like a whole few hours just talking about that one. Would it fit?
Yeah, it was
that
fun
was it.
because we created some characters that not even the Warhammer people have like explored,
Yeah,
essentially.
because like it's all possible.
Yeah,
Just like with any lore line of any story, but clearly it's not the main focus. So it seems, it's a good little area to explore. But before we just keep talking about that, man, there's a few other things I wanted to talk to you about. One of them being, so your gaming experience, man, do you foresee yourself? And I know this is kind of still like waters that aren't really perfected, going into VR.
No, probably not. Yeah,
Not at all.
yeah, it's a. I mean, like I see, I just haven't. I've experienced a little bit of VR and stuff, and like the novelty of it is kind of cool, like the physical experience of like seeing that you're in a space and stuff like that. But I can't do it for any great length of time, because then afterwards I start feeling sick, and then I'm trying to think of things that have good stories. I've heard that a Half-Life Alyx is like a really good experience, even though I'm not very familiar with the Half-Life universe, and stuff. But it's just like there's
not enough yet to catch your attention.
Yeah. There's something about VR that's like, I feel like I never want to get too involved with it because, like if I want to go out, I don't want to put on a headset and look at a set of digital mountains. I want to go to the mountains. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's this idea of like, as much as I love video games, I want to get out there into the real world. I want to feel the water of a river. I want to pick up some sand on the beach, that physical, actual experience, and stuff. And I think we're just always in danger of getting too disconnected from one another and from the real world, So,
hey man, hey, you pay people to not have to see them in person. You know that,
right? That's right. You don't have to interact with anybody if you don't want to anymore these days.
Yeah. So whether you want to put that philosophy out there for people to look at you at such a high standard, no, you pay. So you fallen for the trap just like everybody else. No, but I know what you mean, man. VR also just still kind of being developed anyways, which is why I was thinking about it, because I was like, I wonder if he would ever get into that. There is plenty of videos. One of my favorite ones is somebody playing Battlefield 4 with an entire setup. The guy had the little treadmill thing. It's like a circular Omni treadmill.
Wow.
And that when you run, your character runs. You're locked in, so you're not actually running off the treadmill. He had the VR gun, which I think
I saw that. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was insane because this guy was literally like he was there. He was running, his character was running, and when he gets all the way down, I think his character gets all the way down, and he gets in the tank and he can sit down because the harness he's wearing is like it'll hold him seated into nothing. And but obviously this is like a whole setup. It's not like just your headset only. But playing a game like that in VR with that kind of setup, that's what would be worth it though.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that would be worth, but at the same time that would get tiring as hell.
Totally immersive experience,
Yeah, like the maps on Battlefield are ridiculous and you have to run. Nah, that's not
Did you guys ever read Ready Player One?
I never read it. I just saw. Yeah,
I never read it, but I did see the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the book is obviously a lot longer, and there's a lot more little storylines. But there's one point in the story where he actually he's gotten out of shape, and he's gotten really and so he constructs this whole apparatus to get him back into shape, and so he gets a weight vest, and he gets and he runs, and he does the programs and stuff like that. It takes him like 6-8 months and he gets back in shape just using VR.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. VR works, man. I tried out the there's like a little Counter-Strike style game that they have. My wife got it, and I was just like, all right, I'll try it out, and it was cool. At first I'm like, this is kind of boring because it's a multiplayer game mostly, and I'm just like, I'm sitting there just like, all right, okay, yeah, cool, whatever I'm doing, but I'm using a little thing, so I'm just like this, and I'm trying to figure out how it works. Because I'm so used to holding an actual weapon right here that it's not working for me. I'm just like, God, this isn't. My body sees all this, and it's like, all right, activate, go, we're back in it, but reality isn't there, so it's all not clicking together properly. And when I finally got good to, I finally got over the little steps of trying to get immersed into it. I'm sitting there playing it, and after a while, that I think it's just the strain of like having to actually duck and move around.
Yeah.
The workout is possible.
Yeah. I did one thing that it's not there anymore, but there was a VR like arcade, and like the main event, the main thing that you had to reserve a spot for was like this kind of, it was like a House of the Dead kind of thing, and there were 3 players, and you could have, and they gave you actual physical guns that when you look at them with the headset on, they look like cool little guns, or double pistols, and they gave you a sensor on each wrist and on each ankle, so when you're in this space, you look at your other guys and you look like these cool little like electronic warriors and stuff like that. And man, that they could those and the zombies that are coming at you can come at you from any direction. And so you're moving and you're doing all this stuff. We're going all around and stuff. And man, we were drenched. You had to survive for a half an hour. Me and 2 of my buddies, and we were in it. We were in it to win it, and we survived and stuff. Like, wow, that was really impressive. We don't see many people survive all the way to the end, but we were like shooting past each other's shoulders and like underneath our arms and our legs, like look out, like pushing my way, go. It was so intense. So we burned a couple calories.
The workout is possible, man. So VR clearly not your thing. What's your favorite style of game?
Man, I'm trying to think. I mean, you mean in terms of like gameplay, like
genres?
Genres.
Like RPGs, action.
Oh, okay. Like action RPGs, like what's like? There's like God of War. There's Control. There's Breath of the Wild. These kind of open, a lot of open world, a lot of character progression. So the RPG element, where you're leveling up, and then there's anything with like a story that like Mass Effect or Breath of the Wild or anything where it starts the small scale, and then all of a sudden the world starts expanding, and you realize that there's these world shattering implications, and you're the character that's at the center of it all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really dig that kind of stuff. So anything with like a sci-fi or fantasy element to it, I like the analogy. It's not Warzone, it's Apex. They're virtually the same game, but this one's a little more cartoony. You got the special powers and stuff. The premise is different. It takes place on different planets. For some reason, to me, that's just like I want to explore that world. I just want a bunch of guys running around with guns. But that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think of like whenever anybody asks like what my favorite game is, the first game that comes to mind is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh wow, I wasn't expecting that one.
Oh man, just like it's just a personal, just really intimate story, and yet these like weird fantasy kind of Odin, and Viking lore and mythology, all that kind of stuff.
You're a real Viking fan, man. First the Space Wolves, and now this.
There's something about there's a I don't know, a groundedness, a grittiness. There's a
successful like warrior caste system with not being like Spartan where everybody imagines like a whole formation ready to go. Vikings, you just imagine like a whole horde coming at you. Really unorganized, but still working.
There's something about the gritty, the kind of the black and white nature of like that kind of a society or something like that, where it's like kill or be killed, or everything in service to the gods. And there's like a I think we live in a time where it's like nothing really means anything anymore. You know, it's like it's always like it's like your truth. You know, it's like it's all subjective.
Yeah.
And so anything where there's just like real kind of like grounded lessons or viewpoints or like where there's like a good and evil, you know, anything like that, you know, light and dark, you know, and so and then the struggle to find, you know, between the two and stuff. So you know, Control is another one. I love Control, just like, you know, really, you know.
Yeah, I friggin' joked around with my friends. I'm like, Control was the only game to have good force physics. Why doesn't any Star Wars game have as good force physics?
Force physics, you're right.
Yeah, that's true. I've never played it, but I wanted to play it after seeing like a little snippet here and there. It looked good.
It was fun. It's really good.
So good. And
Can confirm.
Yeah. And there's a mystery to it. You know, any game that has like the good storytelling, there's always like this kind of mystery where it's like, it gives you a little hint, and then there's implications to that, but then even those implications lead to something else, and then something else, and then pretty soon you've gone on this journey, you know. Same with God of War, you know, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you know.
Oh my god. I can't wait.
Have you guys ever played the Persona series? Any of them?
My wife got one of the newer Personas. I don't know which one, but she was just all addicted to it, which I was like, what's so great about this game?
It's slow paced, but it's, if you want to just relax and play an interesting game, it has a good story, I think, and it also like expands as you go, and you start realizing there's bigger implications, though, all that type of thing. So you might like it.
Have you guys played Doki Doki Literature Club?
Yeah.
You want to talk about something that's like just mind-bending and something that goes so deep it even reaches to like the meta level of like acknowledging, you know, certain aspects of
that's like, a game.
Playing games.
You know a game I've never seen, and I want to get into anime after I say this though. One of the Metal Gear Solid games, the boss actually, I think he actually deletes your save game mid.
Yes.
Metal
Gear Solid, or Psycho Mantis, right? In the first game, when you can't hit him unless you physically take the controller and unplug it from the first controller port and plug it into the second controller port, and then he can't read your mind.
Yeah,
you know,
So
good.
I kind of want to see that like style come back. I feel like we have enough technology to make it awesome.
Oh man. Well, you got to play Doki Doki Literature Club, and it's not for kids. Like, don't let anybody else watch you playing it or anything, because it's.
Nah, what are you talking about? It's fine.
No, it's a family feed. It's fun anime girls, you know.
Fun for the whole family.
It's twisted and strained, but if you can endure it all the way to the end, it's like super satisfying. Like there's, you know, it's all about like, it's the themes of like objectification and obsession and true love and letting go and things like that. But it's all wrapped up in this kind of, I forget the name of the genre, but you know, it's like it's the dirty Japanese boy.
Novel. Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, virtual novel. But it's like, it's a bunch of cute Japanese high school girls, and it's like, which one will I date? Ooh, this one's kind of nice. This is the cute one. She's the sultry one. She's the commanding one. But it's like, it totally takes that and it totally turns it on its head. And
when I first saw people talking about that, I'm like, why are people talking about this? I don't I don't see the appeal.
It's like
I know what you mean. There's another game that does something like that, and I can't think of what it is. Oh, no. I think I've seen somebody do that with Animal Crossing. They've turned it into like a horror style game where, like, it looks all cutesy and fun, but then the characters, they just look like that, and then the scenes and everything are just like turning grim and dark. This was a while back though. I don't even remember who did that, but I just remember thinking like, this is Animal Crossing? It was like, no, dude, that's not Animal Crossing.
What a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
Massive.
What's going on with that? But one thing I forgot to do, man, and I totally slipped my mind because, you know, after what I talked to you about earlier, starting later today, the pose Do you remember?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, what was the pose from?
It was from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
JoJo's.
It was
Bizarre.
Dio.
Dio.
Theo or
Dio.
Dio.
It's Dio. So the reason I mentioned that, and I've mentioned it to you on a stream because I really want to see you do it, and I feel like you get a lot of fan base from it too. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is one of the best animes tributing American music.
So, it's like this one, right? You know.
Yeah, he's like you got to face the your back's got to be facing the
Oh,
camera.
yeah,
But
that's
he's
right.
like doing this. Close enough. And it's just funny because the freaking it all begins with Jonathan, and he's in the first season. The main character, his name is Jonathan, and that's my name. So I was just like, oh, I gotta watch this, and it just you're in for a freaking wild ride. And once you get past the first season, though, it just gets crazy. Like it still makes sense with itself. Don't worry, it's not like
eternally consistent. You know?
Yeah. But when you watch it out of context, if you're just like JoJo, and then this is JoJo, you're like, no, it's not. What? It just makes no sense. There's plenty of videos too where they're like, show this to people who don't know what JoJo is.
No, because I know you might spoil something for yourself. Don't
yeah,
do
that too. But really great.
JoJo
series,
needs
man.
to be experienced.
Yeah.
It's like the Matrix.
Spoilers.
Yeah, man, you gotta see it for yourself. I didn't want to go too far into it once you told me you don't know much about it, and that's why I showed you that one scene. I did spoil that one scene for you if you watched it, but I wanted to catch your attention, man, because I knew it took me a little bit to get into season 1. I was like watching it, and I'm like, okay. I mean, this is cool. It's a typical kind of anime, but I'm not really feeling it. And then it starts happening, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And then season 2, which includes 2 parts. It's a little confusing. Season 2 includes part 2 and 3.
No, season 1 is part 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah. Season 1, part 1 and 2. And then, yeah, so on and so forth. But you already tell it's like mixing me up. So, but like, it's just freaking good. I just can't get over it. You'll see references to people who from American music. I think songs also.
Songs, music.
Yeah, like one of the main JoJo characters in a later season, he's his whole concept is modeled after Prince. So like it's really badass just how they did the whole thing.
Wow, that's super.
And then the next part coming out takes place in Florida.
Yeah, it does.
Where can you find this stuff?
Netflix.
Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. They've actually caught up to, well, not all the way, but they've gotten up
They're on
to,
part 4.
Yeah, part 4. So it's good enough. It's not like, like you're gonna miss out on a lot. Part 5 is also great, but you can catch that. I think Adult Swim still has it, I believe, if you have cable. And I'm pretty sure you can find a bootleg anywhere. So,
all right, I'm gonna add it to my list.
Yeah, man, you'll see.
I need to get back into anime, and stuff because I've been out of the anime loop for a long time, man.
JoJo's the perfect one to get back in with.
It is. I try
it's
to
so
keep
hilarious
up.
And just a wild ride.
It is, man. I try to,
but it knows how to get serious too. When it needs to.
Yeah, that's one of the things I showed him was a serious moment. So I figured it'd get a kid, somebody who's never seen it, it would get their attention. That's what
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah.
What got my attention was all the memes. Like you can't spend a day on the internet without being flooded by JoJo references, and it's like, what the hell is this?
It's the whole like lure of what are we watching, and then what?
Yeah.
But that's another thing about anime is there's so many. I fucking my wife like started watching it like crazy, and I was trying to keep up because there were some I'm just watching. I'm like, I don't this next one.
Yeah.
Next one. And then they're starting to get named just really weird, and like it's becoming like those, I think, new style creepypastas where the whole name is literally just like a sentence that you would tell somebody of something just happened to you. Like, I went outside and there was a scary guy. Like that's how they're getting named now. And you're just like,
it's like John's totally understandable but completely underestimated bizarre adventure into the mountains,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're getting named like that.
Okay, I guess it sounds fun. There's a cat in it, you know.
It doesn't.
A good example, the day I became slime.
Yeah. And I mean, it's cool. I think that's a good one too. That's actually a good series.
Yeah, it's okay. But just that name is like made me think of it. Yeah, that's the exact concept.
Yeah, it's so
kind of all you need to know.
And but Netflix has some. I think Netflix has more serious ones, which are worth watching too, because you know, not saying that.
Oh my god, have you seen Baki?
No, I want to though. They're ridiculous.
I love Baki. Baki is so good.
BAKKI?
BAKI.
Yeah, like one of the memes I saw for Baki, which made me want to watch it, was like regular villains, Baki villain, or Baki, regular characters, Baki characters, and they're like freaking jacked.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah, it's freaking retarded. Like, I was just like,
gosh, what is this?
He's saying it.
It's like a kickboxer or something. He's like super ripped.
Yeah, like they explore. They like it's more like grounded, like with martial arts, but they do like expand, like make it more like over the top.
Yeah.
The word I'm looking for.
Of course, just like One Punch Man, over the top.
Yeah, but not that far. Like they do kind of keep it like to real martial arts, but just with a twist, kind of.
It looks like the story of Ricky or Ricky O.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
just a ridiculous, like bizarre, gross, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's so many good ones though that I'm pretty sure we've all missed. I don't know about liking. You be watching it like crazy like that. There's so many tiny series too that I had no idea were around. I was just like going through freaking what was it, Crunchyroll, and I was just like, God dang, these like a new one comes out.
And
I know.
I remember when you couldn't find anime. Like you had to get somebody that knew a guy that had a VHS recording of a fan subbed version that had physically mailed it from Japan, you know. And
there is a reason for that. So my friend, that's a SAG actor, he met Chris Sabat, the voice actor.
Really?
Yeah, he met him. He works for SiriusXM, so you know he ran into him, I think, at one point, and that's the guy who plays Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z.
Nice.
And he explained how that whole process went, and one of the reasons why I guess you just couldn't find it, because like they would film it and do it all. Well, film it. They would voice it and do it all in Japan. Send over that copy to America. America would get it done, send it back over to them to get approval, you know, I guess for the whole ordeal. Anyway, I guess it would come back out later in America. And it was just like a whole process of voice acting just to get like that one episode. So just hearing that alone, I was like, that explains why there was almost no animation in America for a good amount of time, except for, and I think it was like one or two guys that kind of held a monopoly of just anime, because that's all who did it in America. And, there's a, I think it was Heavy Metal. There was like an American animation back in the back in the older day. Yeah, either way, there's like an American animation, and it was done by like one guy, you know, and he kind of was like, he did all the American animation for a certain amount of time until it finally started bleeding over to America, you know, all the Japanese ones. So,
wow.
Yeah, Castlevania is also another American.
Yeah, I gotta watch that one. I love Castlevania. I've only seen, I saw like the first 3-4 episodes, and like life takes over, and
yeah, man, that series is actually really good. There's no, that personally, the way I feel about it, they don't skip a beat. It's just perfect all the way through. And yeah, that's my personal thought about it, though. I don't know if somebody else might feel differently, but you know, like I was like just entranced with the whole thing. I was like, yo, I've only played like 1 or 2 games, but this is crazy.
That's cool. That's hard to do, you know, with a big franchise like that spanned pretty much decades. To have so many positive reviews and to have a good showing, you know, it's hard to please everybody, you know.
Yeah. Clearly from what I saw on the Facebook comments on your videos, your Gamology videos, man. I'm not gonna repeat what I saw, but
I think it's awesome. I think it's great. If you don't got, I mean, it's the internet, man. You know,
yeah.
If you're not getting any hate, something's wrong.
If you're not getting hate, you're not
connected.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Nobody's watching you.
Yeah, nobody's watching. You know.
Yeah.
So, I think it's great.
It's funny. One of the things I wanted to clarify also, because I'm pretty sure you did it for this reason during your was it what's the series called where you get that guy who's like a gun expert?
Total Recoil.
Yeah, and y'all talk about the guns, and you ask questions, I assume, just for conversational purposes and to explain to the viewer, like, because you said, what was one of the things you said? And I was like, yeah, he clearly knows about it. He's asking for the filming purpose. It was like, I think it was like a silencer. He's like, now, silencer, would you go in there with a silencer into the room?
Silencer. What is it? What is a silencer exactly? You know, does it really silence? You know?
And, he explains it, and I remember one of the comments I saw about that. They're like, "Oh yeah, Green Beret doesn't know what a silencer is. This guy's a fake." I was like,
"That's awesome." Yeah, that's the best part. I've had a couple of comments in Instagram, and I've seen it was like, this guy's not, he wasn't really in the military. I'm like,
sure, why not?
What do I say to that? Yes, I am. Believe me. You know,
yeah, right. Freak out on him.
You know?
They were just dogging on both. You know, like, oh, he's a gun expert and a Green Beret gun expert. Sure. It's like, sure. Man.
Oh yeah, well, because everyone on the internet is an armchair genius. They
that's
all
another thing.
know everything.
The thing about that first set of Total Recoil episodes is that there were a lot of legitimate criticisms that I read through the comments and stuff, and I actually got a hold of. I tried to get a hold of the people that offered us the footage for the Insurgency Sandstorm or the squad footage.
Yeah.
Because there's actually a group. There's a group of dudes that are so passionate about ISMC. Yeah, the ISMC mod squad. They're so passionate about modding this game. They actually come up with the coding. They do the coding to create these mods for the game because about modern weapons and modern sights and stuff like that.
Did they do the Fallujah mod?
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Okay, I saw a Fallujah mod come out, I think, for one of these, and they literally recreate Fallujah, the whole battle, and it was an actual dedication or a tribute to the people who lost their lives in Fallujah, and for those vets, so they can realize that they're being loved just as much as every other vet out there. It was a great freaking mod because they had a whole like little trailer of how the developers talking about it, like, yeah, we wanted to create as realistic and as retracing step of what Fallujah was and what happened and all that. I just didn't know that was them.
Are you talking? You're not talking about the game 6 Days in Fallujah, are you? Or is this a mod for Squad or Insurgency or something like that? Because there's a game coming out called 6 Days in Fallujah. It was actually developed before. It was canceled because of controversy. Another company picked it up, and it's coming out later this year.
That either might be it, or that sparked them to make it. That might one of the two. Because I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't heard of that.
I had only heard about it recently because people were talking about the game, and then I actually got a hold of the people that are developing it and said, "Hey, I'm a streamer. Do you think I could get an early release?" And like, we're not doing live stream right now, but we'll send you some clips that you can use if you want to make some YouTube content. So I made a little video. It's on my YouTube page, talking about those aspects of the gameplay. And what I would like to do before the game comes out is do my own video and my own take on the controversy itself surrounding the game.
Nice.
It's fun to explore that.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to interrupt the whole the whole train of thought earlier, but it just popped in my head. I'm like, I forgot when you mentioned modders. I was like, oh, I forgot that there was a Fallujah thing coming out at some point.
But these guys, it's just that first round of Total Recoil episodes did for me was it made me realize, like, I'm not responsible for being a gun expert, but I am a Green Beret, and that means something to me and also to people out there, and I don't think that that's wrong to have a certain level of expectation on my knowledge base, not that it's like, well, I was only responsible for knowing what I did back then and I was 10 years ago, and that's it. But like, I'm, just like a Marine is always a Marine, I'm still a Green Beret to this day. And so what does that mean to me in terms of the effort that I put forth to trying to know new weapon systems or trying to stay up on current events, so if there's a mentality, either what's the mentality of a soldier in general or the mentality of a Green Beret specifically, it's like, what does it mean to me to upholding the honor and integrity of the Green Berets and the prestige of the Green Berets in like searching out, doing research on a video that I'm going to be looking up or doing research on a YouTube video about Fallujah and stuff like that. Because there is, you can't get away from the fact when you say Green Beret, that means something to people. And I think it's okay to give into that a little bit, not to like let public perception lead you by the nose, but to be like, you know what, there is something about being a Green Beret. And I know because I am one. And so I'm going to put forth this level. If I'm the quiet professional, if I'm, trained, if I'm a highly trained individual, so like in the context of being a military guy, I can still carry those principles with me as a content creator, so that's that kind of stuff that I've been thinking about to kind of hold myself to a higher standard.
Yeah, kind of self gut check.
Yeah.
No, that's it's true, man. Even before I got in, just SOCOM in general was something that I always thought was like that way up there kind of concept. Like these guys are literally other people; they're not normal. Like that was just my idea, and it was because of the name. It wasn't. I ain't know nothing. I didn't know the actual context behind it. I didn't know the procedures of getting in or anything, the training. All I knew was just the name and the image, Yep. So, yeah, I understand, man. And being a vet in general, kind of the same concept. People kind of look at you as oh, he's been to war. Like, no, okay, hold on. Like, wait a minute. There, some people may have, not everybody, but mm-hmm. Yeah, so just the image in general is there. Damn it, like it. I keep looking at your image. Speaking of that, and I just keep I imagine like that's actually you looking at us like that.
Like, Pilgrim entrances you.
Just keep glancing at it, like looking at me, disgusted, because I'm on the right side, so your character's looking up toward it.
Oh, and in my picture, he's looking up at me. He's like right down there. I'm like, you.
Yeah. you got us, man. You got us.
Guys, I should probably get going here. If it's late for me, it's late for you. I gotta get it. I have a.
Oh yeah, I'm half falling asleep.
This would be where
I could keep going, for hours on end,
Of course, yeah.
Let's go all-nighter, boys.
All right, so I'll go ahead and end it here, my dudes.
Some energy powder.
D-fuel.
Oh god. So we had a great talk about you and your personal ideas and just your gaming and experience and what you do. So I hope this kind of expands and brings more people out to understanding you as a person instead of just seeing the Twitch Gamology and like, where's the military concept? Like, it's there. Just there's more.
It's woven into the fabric of who I am.
Yeah,
just like any soldier.
Yeah. Of course, and like in any was it closing comments? what did it say at those ceremonies?
You get the last word, like
remarks. Any last remarks? Yeah.
Video games are fun, and Israel Wright is a cool guy.
Okay, you sound like a 5-year-old.
Thank you for your service to my to our
simplicity. It's okay. There's a beauty in simplicity.
There is. All right, my dudes. It's great having y'all. And everybody watching, go ahead and check them out. I'll have links for both of them in the description, so be sure to check them both out. Lycan is also a podcaster in Tower 115 podcast, so be sure to check him out. And y'all be easy.
See ya.